Masculine energy men really need to be in the driver's seat when it comes to love and relationships, and particularly in choosing a wife. If a man that is predominantly masculine in his energy is not the one that is choosing to be with you, and you have subtly or maybe even directly tried to pursue the relationship along, even if it feels good in the beginning in that your advances are working, at some point that traction, let's say, and the polarity will not be there, because for a man that's in his masculine energy, he really needs to be the one to choose you and to choose the woman that he decides to marry. Now, again, in my channel, I speak about the masculine feminine energy dynamic. Our world is very confused in terms of our roles, and men are often very confused as well. A lot of times when I say that a man needs to be the one to pursue a woman, it can be triggering for men. And the reason for that is because they've been rejected, and also men have fear of putting themselves out there and also want what comes easy. And what comes easy for men that are in their masculine energy, or men in general, is when a woman is sort of doing all the pursuing, because then a man doesn't really have to put himself in an uncomfortable situation to possibly get rejected. The reason that I really stressed not taking the leadership role as a woman is simply because a man that's in his masculine energy is going to pursue you if you feel good to be around, if you are a desirable woman. And yes, men have fears when it comes to commitment. All men have a fear of commitment. That's completely normal. There's nothing wrong with that. And also, the older a man gets, the more experience he's going to have with women. And because I would say maybe 90 to 95% of women are masculine in their energy and can even move into narcissistic tendencies. Men, when they get out of those relationships, because again, they feel trapped in those relationships, they're even more guarded. So yes, 100% men have these fears. However, men, as I always say, masculine energy men are very intuitive by nature, because again, they're integrated in their feminine and their masculine. That is what masculine energy is. Just in the same way, that's what feminine energy is. A feminine energy woman is integrated in her masculine as well as her feminine. And so there's an intuitive component there. When a man meets a woman that innately is feminine, he's going to feel different with her. He's going to have this sense of there's something different about her. And if she conducts herself in a high value manner, in a way that is true to her energy, and again, Secrets of the Feminine Woman is a really good book if you want to read more about feminine energy. If she conducts herself in a certain way, a man is going to get over himself to make things solidified with her. He's not going to delay his ability to be with her, because men that are in their masculine energy want to be with women that are in their feminine energy. Now, what happens if a man is not choosing you? And I want to kind of go into this a little bit, because I see this happen so much. I have women contact me and men contact me, and I speak with them, and they tell me that they get into these relationships and the man gets very confused and he just loses interest, or it appears to be confused, or doesn't want to be in the relationship anymore. And I kind of wanted to speak about this and kind of what happens. Now, as I said, it's a man's role to pursue you and to move toward you. And again, a man is going to do that. So there has to be a belief within your own nervous system that men are capable, and that masculine energy is capable, and that if you have the ability to initiate and to pursue a man, so does he. And if you don't have that trust in men, then you're not going to be in a healthy relationship with a man at all, because you need to have this sort of belief in men, especially to be with a masculine energy man and to be in a happy dynamic with him. Now, when we have this belief that masculine energy is going to pursue, in the initial stages of a relationship, we're not going to pursue a man. If you pursue a man in any way, so you help him, and even in the courtship, what will happen is sometimes a man will see a woman and he'll initiate, but then he's kind of figuring out his feelings with her as well, or he'll take space. You can learn more about men and what men want. He'll take space, or he'll just take his time in dating and in the courtship phase, which is completely normal. What will happen with women sometimes is they will want to speed that part up. They will want to speed or close that gap. And so they'll start to step in for the guy. And with men, because a lot of men don't have an awareness of what's going on until after, is they'll go along with it, because they'll think, well, this woman is perfectly nice. Oh, she must be interested in me. And so they'll move along with the advances of the woman, and they'll kind of get themselves in a situation where they're trapped, meaning a woman will initiate, set up dates. I had a woman that I was speaking to recently where they took some space. They were dating initially, and then he wasn't sure. And she was sort of pushing him to make things solidified. And he seemed like he was scared, completely normal for men. And she took space from him, which was great. But then she ended up closing the gap, meaning that she heard that he was really hurt and he was devastated. And instead of giving him time to come back to her, she went and contacted him, made the first move, and they started speaking again and went on a vacation together, etc. I really advise against this because, again, if a man is really devastated with not being with you, he's going to initiate contact with you. Like, it's just very simple. You don't need to feel heartbroken over a man being heartbroken because, again, he's not a little boy, he's a man. So a man can handle being heartbroken. And if he really is heartbroken, like truly, he will contact you because he'll think to himself, well, this is the woman that I want to be with. I need to fix it with her. So you stepping in like a mother and taking his pain away, okay, great. He'll feel good with that because, again, his ego will feel desired. But at some point, he's going to feel resistance towards you. In this situation, she started initiating with him and he kind of went along with it. They moved in together, and it was her initiation of everything, and he kind of just went along with it. Now, masculine energy men, they're not what society deems them to be. They're not aggressive. They will kind of go with the flow. Masculine energy goes with the flow. And initially, if a woman is like nice to be around and she's attractive, kind of just go with it, right? Where you want to see how a man truly feels interested in you is if you don't do anything to advance the relationship and he's the one doing everything to advance the relationship. That's how a masculine energy man is really interested in you. Not if you're doing everything and he's kind of just like going along with it, because that's just a man being nice and you kind of being nice to be around. But that doesn't mean to him that you're the one, right? There's a very big difference for a man when a man is the one that knows that this is the person that I want to be with, this is my wife, versus hey, she feels good to be around. She's making it very easy for me. I don't really want to be alone. So, okay, I'll just like go ahead with things and be with her. Like, there's a very big difference in the heart of a man when he is the one selecting you versus when you are the one helping him with everything and he's kind of going along with it. Now, what tends to happen in these relationships, and particularly with this woman that I was speaking to, was they ended up in a very long relationship, 10 to 15-year relationship. And he is now starting to realize that he doesn't really want to be in this relationship. And her and I were speaking about this because she wanted my guidance and coaching on this. And I was letting her know that the reason he's feeling like this and he's feeling confused is because there's no real level of attraction there, right? There's no intimacy there. Anytime they are sort of being intimate, either she is the one that is initiating it or she feels that he just feels obligated. And the reason for this is because he never chose her, right? He never was the one to choose that this is the woman I want to be with. He went along with everything. And after the chemicals die down, dopamine wears off, all of the love chemicals wear off, and a man is in a situation with a woman that is masculine in her energy. So her energy matches his energy and there's no femininity. This is why I stress the importance of learning to be in your feminine energy, because your emotions and your feelings and your vulnerability and your authenticity, right? The more authentic you are, the more you can show yourself as a woman, like a true woman, not in any sort of inauthentic way where you're posing to be a woman, but just in a very authentic way, like your femininity. If a man is not getting that and he's in a relationship with a woman that feels very much like a man to him, the energy is neutral. So there's no spark there. And he's kind of just going with the flow and doing things day to day because he's in the relationship, but not out of any sort of desire. Now, in this situation, she was telling me that everything was 50-50. And apparently he's like a wealthy man, so he does have money, but everything is 50-50. Now, again, this is another indication that a man is just not that really invested in you, because a man will show you from his actions and through his actions what you mean to him. men that are able to provide for a woman, and I'm not talking about a man that is just like getting his bearings together or isn't able to provide in the way that a woman would want, but he's doing his best. That's a different story. But a man that has the capability to provide for you is not going to want a 50-50 relationship, because men, again, are natural born providers. And so they want to take on that role of providing for a woman, just as a woman that's in her feminine energy, even if she's independent, she makes her own money, she gets a very good feeling being with a man that is taking on a provider role and even a protector role that is just innate in our DNA. So it's the same thing with masculine energy men. They want to be with a woman where they can feel like a man, and providing is a very clear indication of a man feeling like, this is the woman for me. This is my wife. I want to take care of her. So if everything is 50-50, there is no real initiation on his part sexually. He feels depressed, he feels confused, and he's not really moving toward you. He's not happy in the relationship. And if you reflect back on how the relationship started, or who was it that was really solidifying the relationship, who was the one trying to close the gap in on the relationship, if you do this introspective work, and if you need to speak with me or book a call with me, I also have email sessions available. So if you want to ask me a question, you can do that. You can find all that on the website. If you see within the dynamic that it was mostly you trying to solidify the relationship, what will happen with these men is at some point they will resent being with you, and they will also be angry within themselves because they know that they didn't choose you. And if he's not communicating with you, he's pulled away, he's not being close to you. And again, it doesn't matter how long a relationship is. A man is going to show you his love and desire for you through physical intimacy. That's how men show you that they are attracted to you. It doesn't matter how long the relationship is. It doesn't matter how you look. All that matters is your energy. And this is why it is really important to do your inner work, to understand what true feminine energy is, to understand what masculine energy is. Because when you can understand this, you can start to do your own inner work and look at yourself versus looking at the relationship or blaming him for feeling the way he is. So if he's not doing these things, then there's a disconnect there, and he's regretting certain decisions he's made. Now, again, it's very rare for a man to come out and say, I'm not into you, or I don't want to be in this relationship. Because again, masculine energy men are stand-up men, and they are going to feel bad for saying that, right? They're going to feel guilty for wasting your time. They're going to feel upset with themselves for even being in this relationship and not taking a stand for themselves. And so the way that they're going to do it, because they're not going to be inauthentic, is they're going to show you through actions. They're going to take space. They're going to be grumpy. They're going to be disgruntled. They're not going to want to be intimate with you. And they're just going to be angry. And without knowing, of course, everyone's specifics, what I did recommend to this one woman was, you need to tell him that this doesn't feel good to you. You need to respect that maybe he's just not into this relationship, and you need to walk away. And when I was telling her that you need to tell him how you feel, she kept reiterating to me that I was doing that. I did tell him that. But again, it's very different if you are telling a man, I want to be with a man that wants me, but then you're still there, right? That is putting more guilt on a man, and that is putting the responsibility on him to walk away, versus the more attractive approach to take responsibility for your own life. Speak with me if you need to. Read the books, email me about the inner work course, look within yourself to see what could you have done differently. And then you take the stance of telling him that this relationship is not working for you. And that is where your innate masculine energy as a woman shows up, right? If a man is not showing up and making you feel desired and beautiful, etc., rather than staying in the relationship and nagging him and berating him and making him feel bad, which again is what masculine energy women do, the feminine energy approach is to tune in with yourself, take personal responsibility, and then use your masculine energy, which is your strength, to walk away from the relationship, no matter how hard it is. And if you do that, and again, it depends on the situation, the books will give you like a very good starting point. And if you need to speak with me more about your specific situation, you can definitely do that. But if you do that, there's a very good chance that the dynamic can shift, because you are showing up in a high value way, and you are taking space, and you are ending the relationship, which gives a man a sense of freedom, and he feels relief, let's say. And then you just give it space and time and let him be the one to come back to you with his own accord and his own decision-making process when he wants and he feels ready, if that is right for him. The more you let a man take the role and take the lead in a relationship, the happier he'll be, because the more attracted he will feel to you because he's investing in you. And the better you will feel as a woman, because you will feel, okay, I'm chosen over and over and over again, versus you being the one to tell him what to do and him going along with it because he's just comfortable, let's say. Okay, my love, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.